Have you seen this about you? It's new. Seen what? The pro FIFA.
This is the story of one of the most controversial FIFA players ever. And if you joined the FC scene recently, you might not even know his name. But he is one of the very few people EA has banned from every service and game they make. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kurt0411.
Right in the logo.
Also known as Kurt0411. Before the arguments, the suspension and the lifetime ban, Kurt was known for something far simpler. He was really good at FIFA. He grew up in Malta, played his way into international events, and showed he could compete with the best players in the world. At FIFA 18, he reached deep stages at major events, and in FIFA 19, he earned enough points to qualify for the Global Series playoffs, something that only top players managed at that time. He wasn't known for the drama, he was known for competing with the very best.
7, Cricketter's past 1, he goes past 2!
As Kurt competed, he streamed and made YouTube videos, and that's where everything really exploded. He started uploading brutally honest commentary about FIFA, stuff that almost no other pro dared to say publicly. For example, after he got the chance to play the FIFA 19 beta at the time, he flew home after and completely trashed the game.
If the game is going to be anywhere close to that beta, the final release, we are in big trouble.
Look at the OG setup.
This video made fans who felt ignored suddenly have someone voicing every.
Was I wrong? Was I wrong? Was I wrong?
Everything they wanted to say, but EA wasn't amused. In late 2018, Kurt received his first official suspension, roughly half a season after EA flagged some of his public comments about big FIFA creators as personal attacks.
I'm sure all of this would get resolved with a simple apology from my behalf, but yeah, quite frankly, there is no chance in hell that's ever gonna happen.
Kurt later explained that EA believed his criticism of creators like Marshall and Castro counted as attacks, while
What the fuck?
he saw them as harmless opinions. This suspension is the roots of everything that follows, because from here, Kurt felt that EA had a target on his back. As the 2018 season continued, Kurt had his first major live incident. At a competitive event late in the FIFA 19 season, after conceding what he believed were kickoff glitch goals, Kurt simply walked off stage mid-match.
Cristiano Ronaldo dans la surface de réparation, et le voilà. Voilà le troisième engagement, le troisième en goal. C'est terrible pour FIFA Ostoun qui
Ouais, et jusqu'au playoff également.
That clip spread everywhere. To some, it was passion boiling over in a broken meta, and to others, it was unprofessional behavior from a pro on stage. But no matter who was right, this moment followed Kurt for the rest of his career. It was the spark that made people realize Kurt wasn't just a critic, he was a lightning rod. Then came the moment that turned him into a household name in the scene. During the Vods Champions Cup in Atlanta in early 2019, which was one of the biggest tournaments of the season, Kurt walked straight through into a broadcast area during a live interview with Castro.
About the Royal not being able to.
I don't care if I can bear it.
Stop.
They're here to watch me.
Hey.
Good luck.
I'm being deadly serious. They're here to watch me.
Okay, maybe they are. Why don't you, Kurt? You go concentrate on your game, and we'll all be able to watch you. Let's win, huh?
If you win, you do an interview.
You go focus. You go focus.
To viewers, this was quite shocking. To Kurt, it was justified. He felt the broadcast didn't show his games and never let him speak after important matches, even when he was performing well. This wasn't just about complaining about gameplay. Instead, this was confronting the competitive system directly. Inside EA, this was taken seriously. Media coverage later described it as one of the key reasons that he received an official final warning from EA.
Including any use of harassing, negative or profane language online will not be tolerated. Looking back, it's a bit crazy though, isn't it? Like, they had to manipulate you. You can't use profane language. Yeah.
About his conduct at the Global Series events. Throughout FIFA 19 and FIFA 20, Kurt's criticism went further. He wasn't just calling out the game anymore, he was also calling out the people behind it.
These guys, you have to understand, they live in this delusional world that they think that they're doing a good job. Why? They think they are doing an okay job. They think that everything's fine. When in reality, it's not. In reality, you know, every single one of these employees who has worked on the last couple of games should be unemployed right now. Let me tell you this. That might be a bit of a relief to a few of them. But yeah, in the long run, it won't be pretty. You know, just ask Chewboy. But that's what should happen to them.
But I, like, there were parts I wasn't wrong, you know? Like you get me. Like, sure, that's you know, if we define that as prime 04, which it's up for debate, because I believe I'm in my prime at the moment. He wasn't wrong. You sounded I used to get Irish a lot. Yeah, he wasn't wrong at the heart of many things that he said. The problem is he was also naive, though. He didn't understand how certain aspects were. He didn't understand how video games are made, right? That's the big problem.
He even admitted calling a community manager a bum, incompetent, and a waste of.
But again, there's always like levels to how we ended up getting to that point. That's what I mean by naive, you know?
Sperm. The tension was now personal. In October 2019, during a live stream, Kurt hit a breaking point. He ranted about EA, shouted things towards EA, grabbed an official EA FIFA scarf,
I think
spat
Corey MC
on their logo.
You son of a bitch! You can't beat me! Even on this piece of trash game. Fuck you, EA. Fuck, I'm not playing this guy.
Okay, but can we add some context to this? How many of you guys remember watching that game? Because, not to excuse the behavior, but I'll never forget it. It was one of those, like, crazy games where the guy was time wasting for like the entire duration of the second half. And I equalized or scored the winner, I don't know.
All of you, hey!
Okay, equally. Oh, look at my team. What? Baby Ice. Mandy.
I'll celebrate.
Oh, yeah,
so
you can't see.
I'll frame my own draw. I'll take a screenshot right now of this draw. Actually, where I'll defend this kick off here, don't I? I'll take a screenshot of this draw and I'll frame this draw. I'll frame it. I'll frame it myself.
So far, it's not that bad. Oh no. Yo.
Above all, right in the logo.
Chat. It was not like it was not actual. It was fake. It was fake spit. It was fake spit. It was fake spit.
This moment went everywhere. Clips, screenshots, articles. It became the symbol of how far things had escalated. And most crucially, it was one of the final straws from EA. On the 1st November 2019, just weeks after the rant and the scarf incident, EA banned Kurt from the entire FIFA 20 global series. He couldn't compete
How did this guy find these
EA
screenshots?
banned Kurt from the
The above violations go beyond acceptable smack talk, as the constant harassment targeting fellow competitors, EA employees, and a previous on-air talent during the live broadcast are unacceptable. I think
entire FIFA 20 global series. He couldn't compete anymore. He couldn't earn any points.
That
and
one-
his road
that one was ridiculously harsh. That one was wrong. That one should have been. You can't go from 2 months suspension to then be like, oh, you're banned forever from competing. The Napoli one is in a penalty shootout, by the way. Like that was, I believe, harsh. Looking back. But again, I always maintain this. I just wish that I had communication. Because obviously, this 04, he was very naive. His frontal loop hadn't developed yet. But at his core, he wasn't an evil person. He was just naive and going down the wrong path.
To the World Cup was officially over. EA said publicly that this suspension was due to repeated abusive behavior, and Kurt called the decision tough to take, said the people behind it was cowards, and claimed that EA told him only after he had qualified through that weekend's online matches.
That's true.
Something that required hours of grinding and flawless performance. To Kurt's supporters, this obviously felt like censorship. To his critics, it was the result of ignoring warnings for over a year. And to EA, it was a justified disciplinary action. But the story wasn't finished. It was about to get even way bigger, because shortly after the ban, several EA staff members had their personal Twitter accounts hacked. The hackers posted messages supporting Kurt, including a fake EA unban announcement. Now, there has
this guy has everything. Listen,
been any evidence linking Kurt to the hack, but
I was not involved in any way, shape, or form. You obviously, like, that's the level we're talking about, and the power I possess, but I wasn't involved
around his name
in any way.
Becoming a problem they couldn't ignore. Staff were being impersonated, harassment was increasing, and the relationship was collapsing completely. On the 24th of February 2020, EA issued the biggest punishment in FIFA esports history.
February 2020. What are we at? Almost 6 years. I think a 2 year suspension, looking back, would have been reasonable. Oh, fucking hell, Kaljavis guy, the penalty, idiots. I think 2 year suspension would have been fair, and above all, some kind of communication. The problem with EA, though, is that I think they thought that this was going to change something. It didn't really change anything. I mean, if anything, FIFA went further back. Most importantly, the community of content creators went further and further back. I mean, to go from watching Kurt0411 to Foot with Stokes nowadays. I mean, we're talking about two completely different galaxies. Fucking Napoli. So the sad reality for them and for me and for the whole community is that they lost an individual whose gameplay still has not been replicated to this day. When you then add in the microphone in combination with that gameplay.
A full permanent ban from all EA games, all online services, and all future titles. In their statement, EA said that Kurt's behavior crossed a line of decency, that he posted abusive and threatening messages, and also that they will not tolerate threatening behavior. And Kurt rejected everything. He said that there was no threats at all, only insults, and described the whole thing as a witch hunt.
So again, I'm glad I've got to know more about this whole situation. Like, there was no direct threats. I still maintain that. There were direct threats. But I didn't realize, like, if only you guys and I knew back then the gravity of the situation, you would realize why I got banned. But I didn't know. And obviously, it's not... Like, streaming was still in its kind of not infancy, but it was early stages.
Every band before it, this one...
Basically, chat, TLDR, the power that I possessed was far beyond what I could control. I mean, at that time, Napoli missed the penalty. Come on, suck it, Nemes. I could have ran for president.
Wasn't temporary.
And
Even
have
after the
won.
lifetime ban, Kurt has tried a couple of times to play FIFA, but every new account he created was banned.
but it's true.
Streams were suddenly
It's
removed.
true.
He said Twitch warned him EA issued copyright strikes for playing FIFA, basically
So
risking
it
his
could have
whole
got
channel.
banned.
So this ban was absolute. Flash forward to today, 5 years later after
Look
the
at that,
lifetime
Jeff.
ban, Kurt is still one of the most recognizable names in FIFA history. But he exists completely outside the game he built his career on. And what makes all of this even more beautiful and ironic is how much EA has changed in the years since. Because EA is now shaping itself as the exact opposite of the company that Kurt fought with. EA now
Preach.
talks about transparency,
Preach.
patch notes, Discord
Preach.
posts, community-driven updates,
Preach.
gameplay fixes, the same thing that players
Preach.
begged for during FIFA 19 and FIFA 20. The very
Preach.
year where Kurt's criticism was at its loudest. But even with all those changes, one thing never shifted. Kurt's lifetime ban stayed the exact same. No exceptions, no second chances, no return. So in the end, Kurt's story becomes a reminder of how intense the old FIFA era really was, and how a single player can leave a mark on a community long after he's gone. Let me know what you think
I love
about
that
this
outro.
situation, and also, did you even play FIFA at the time Kurt was around?
I love that
And
outro.
lastly, also
Salute,
remember
bro.
to
Good
subscribe
video,
for
man.
more
You know your
FC
shit.
and
Good stuff. Good stuff. Foot FC GG. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Really good video. Like, the end is very interesting. Because everything I fought for in that time... Bro, I'm seeing some crazy penalties in this game. I feel like... What is it? Remove time finishing. What did I see this week? Was it something with the keeper? I told you that the second they released those. The second they released those. So... I'm just... P-Funners, we've just watched an interesting video. Good video from this this geezer. What did the comments say? Looks like he was right all along, though. Bane scared he was always right and wasn't a sellout. What's that supposed to mean? I think this always goes back to that, doesn't it? It always goes back to that. I mean, at the end of the day, Chad, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, this is the one thing that is always a given. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's a given. I was never a gamer. I was actually pure football. Started by pure football. I'm better now than I was six years ago. Whoever your best is nowadays, if you believe there is unders, honestly, give me 1 month. Give me 1 month, and I would have no problems beating him. Because at the end of the day, chat, how on earth could you beat an individual who has continued to increase his football knowledge? His reflexes are quicker, sharper than ever before. Stokes is too easy, bro. Man said Stokes. I literally beat Stokes on UFL with barely even, like, I don't play that shit, like a fucking golden account. They gave him all the players and shit. Stokes was never competition for me. He never will be competition in any football game. I'm talking about the very best you have to offer nowadays. Whoever that very best is, if it is indeed Lord Anders, who I'm a big fan of myself, don't get it twisted, we'd have absolutely no problem. Give me a month. That would literally be all I'd need.